So, you can call this a part 2 to my Where in the World Can Black Men Find Acceptance, in which that video has been very successful, and I am rather pleased, more than with the amount of views it's received so far, the comments that I've received, the majority of which have been positive. And it's so positive that honestly, hell, we're having white dudes on the comment section telling us that black men need to get out of the United States and travel. I mean, we aren't dealing with these like alt-right PUAs who are telling black men, don't go here, don't go there. We're actually having white dudes telling black men that women of the country that they may be in like or prefer black men. Well, maybe not like or prefer, but like them just as much. And I'm actually pleasantly surprised by some of the responses I've received thus far, because in my Where in the World Are Black Men Can Black Men Find Acceptance, I did list specific countries in which black men can find acceptance, or it can be easier, like Western Europe, Scandinavia, Australia, Japan, Philippines, for instance. So those are some of the Brazil, Colombia, all those countries have been basically reported or purported to have or to be good for black men. However, from what I'm getting so far, and hopefully, as I said, if you want to leave responses there still, go on ahead. But what I'm getting so far is it's sort of leading me to a conclusion that I've already believed in, but now I'm being reaffirmed in it more and more. And that is, black male hate is an American construct. All the events that you've seen, all the images that perpetuate in the media, everything that has been said about black men. Notice the one place where it's coming from. Notice the one source that it's coming from. It's coming from here. It's coming from this country, the United States of America. A country that our ancestors fought every damn war and built, well, I wouldn't say every damn road, but built a lot of it. I know some people say, oh, blacks didn't build anything after slavery and blah, 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 blah. No. If the Italians and Irish and Polish came over here and they can claim that they built this country off of working in some northeastern corner of America, then blacks can claim the same with the southeastern corner. Given that, it's been hundreds of years, it's been centuries, over 300 years, and black men are still seen as public enemy number one for some reason in the eyes of too many people. And especially the more east you go, it basically becomes the majority of people. No matter which race, which political party, a lot of them see you as that one person that they don't want anywhere near you, or anywhere near them. And quite frankly, it's basically my conclusion that a lot of the bullshit that you see in this country, or a lot of the bullshit that you hear about you, about how you're a criminal, about how you're a savage, about how you don't amount to shit, about how you're just baby daddies, criminals, all this shit, it comes from America. That is the one thing that we still manufacture. We don't manufacture anything else. We don't manufacture fuck all but black male fear and black male hatred. And there are some countries that have eaten it up. Like you have your Mexicos, for instance, your Chinas, your Eastern Europes, your Russias. Yeah, you have some of those countries that, especially like your Eastern Europes and your Russias, that may hate anyone who isn't of their nationality. Okay, cool. I can respect that a bit more than what some of these other countries, like your Chinas and your Mexicos, are pushing or are consuming when it comes to this American garbage. And for the most part, that was pretty much my belief, and it's still my belief to a certain extent. Quite frankly, because I've been to Mexico, but very touristy places. I haven't been to China. I'll be honest, Eastern Europe, haven't been there neither. However, from what I'm getting from people who have been there, it's a whole nother story. It's completely different. It's a 180 than what the media wants you to believe. I'm having people tell me that they'll go to certain countries in which they didn't expect to be treated equally or be treated like kings, and all of a sudden it's just the opposite. Had this one guy, for instance, I was talking to him earlier today. I told him to give a story about his experience in Asia as a black man, and his experience was, he had a great experience in Philippines and Japan, which what I expected. But he told me that his experiences in China and Korea, Thailand were just as great as well, which I didn't expect. Especially when you have a government and an industry in the Chinese government and entertainment industry that intentionally tries to get rid of or reduces the black characters in their movie posters. Don't tell me that Sun Yat-sen and the Republic of China wasn't driven away by the communists for no reason, without the help of certain entity. I'm not going there. But other countries, you got, as I said, for example, Philco versus the World. I'm not sure. I haven't really subbed to watch this stuff as of late, but from what I've seen, the women there are pretty receptive, to say the least. It's almost like he's in a place like Germany or France, for instance, with the reception that he's receiving, or Scandinavia. I mean, you couldn't tell the difference between him and some of the other guys who constantly have stories about how they have fun in this Scandinavian country or this Western European country. You have that. You have other examples, obviously plenty of examples in South America, especially places like Brazil, which obviously is a given. And I'm not even talking about those who are going after black women. I'm talking about those who are going after just Brazilian women in general. Multiple people whose list is too long to remember, to be quite honest. But if you want what website to go to, I know right now it's being co-opted by the alt-right and a bunch of guys who, instead of learning how to game, basically they're using it as a place to blame black men for their failures with white women. But this one website, RushiForum.com, if you look up two websites, or basically there are two forums, one of which is best places in the world for black men, as well as game options for black men. But for this instance, I'm going to tell you to go to RushiForum.com, look up travel, and look up best places in the world for black men, which is black men in such and such country. You will hear stories about how black men are actually doing well, and not in the typical countries where you would expect. These are atypical countries like Russia, like China, like Mexico. Now, I've known several Mexicans who, since I've been out here, and quite frankly, what they tell me is the same thing. The hatred towards blacks. One, it's perpetuated by the American culture itself, the American media, whatever you want to say. And I don't blame the media for much. That this one, they're going to have to take this. They're going to have to take this blame. And two, the prison system of California specifically, a so-called liberal state that has been known to basically have the races play off against each other, and basically the races play off against blacks. And yeah, you can say there's some ancient Hindus who are in there who don't even follow a code of ethics that the cholos and the skinheads and the triads, yakuzas follow. Yeah, there is that. No, I call that out on this channel all the damn time. But being a supposed liberal state, you would think that their tolerance would even be pushed to the jail system, the prison system. But that's what they tell me, is that a lot of the Mexican hatred of blacks is usually established once they get in the United States. And some of them do it in order to impress whites. Actually, a lot of them who do that, who do this anti-black male shit, do it to impress whites. So do other countries, so do other people of other countries. I've always said this. There are certain people who come here specifically for that reason alone, especially if they were at the bottom of the barrel of their country. Or if they have such low self-esteem that, hey, I have nothing else to look forward to, but let me go to a country where at least I'm not the bottom, or I'm not at the bottom. I mean, even you find this even among Africans. Obviously, they come here. O'Shea's been talking about this as of late, about how Africans who come here will tell their daughters specifically, not even their sons, but their daughters not to date African American men. Well, they probably don't have to tell their sons because their sons probably don't want to. Never mind. But it's a universal thing that, for some reason, if there's one thing that foreigners and immigrants and migrants and refugees tend to pick up when it comes to the American way, it's to hate black men. Now, a lot of it is on the fault of black men themselves. And it's because they have bought into the stereotype of being a dope boy, a thug, or just being dusty and rusty and whatnot, all because they were trying to keep it real, kind of trying to keep it street, trying to prove their blackness for some reason to a group of people who don't even care about them or could give a shit what happens to them. Half the time, these same people that they try to prove themselves to end up fucking them over. Or at best, not being able to help them get out of their certain scenario, whether it's a financial, geographical, or a mental state. Understand that the hatred for you is an American-made construct. Hell, I'll be honest, some of the baddest chicks I've been with, and some of the easiest chicks I've been with, and I don't mean easy as in like slutty or whatever, I mean easy as in just being able to get along, and yes, being able to sleep with, I'll be honest, but I don't consider that within itself slutty. Some of the easiest chicks that I've been able to just be with have been from outside this country. And me being a whitewashed black man, some of the easiest girls that I have been able to get along with have been, quite frankly, like right here, Canadians. And I've always said this, Canada is essentially the United States without the historical nigger-hating bullshit. Which is why I tell, and that's why I'm telling you black men right now, for all of you who are worried about what these hoes are doing in this country, or bullshit that's happening to you, or whatever, not being able to get a job, not doing all this, doing all that. Look, America is on the decline. It's been on the decline probably since, well, definitely since September 11th. Trust me, I'd give anything to live in the 80s and 90s United States. And quite frankly, I'd argue this, the 80s and 90s, minus some of the events that the media tried to push down our throats that happened in Los Angeles, which, as I said, back to my other video about SJW left and their bullshit that they pull against black men in liberal cities, but the 80s and 90s, I would argue, were the least racist times in American history. And especially the 80s. I mean, the 80s probably were so, in my opinion, they were so optimistic, particularly those who were outside the hood, that, I mean, they had to institute something like gangsta rap in order to tarnish the black man image. I mean, if we didn't have gangsta rap, if we just had the images, the positive black male images of just like dudes who were just like your Magic Johnsons, your Michael Jordans, whoever. If those were the standard black male images, instead of the gangster rap shit that was allowed to occur and allowed to basically take over the black male image, I'm not going to even go there. I'm just going to say that the black man would be in a much better position than he is in right now. But this is why I say that after 400 years of not being wanted, particularly if you're a good black man, yeah, if you're a hoodlum dope boy, they won't fuck with you. They'll give you all sorts of shit. Even if you have to be in a 6x6, well, I don't know the diameters of a prison cell. I don't care to know. But if you want to get back at this country, don't go saying fuck whitey, fuck white supremacy, and I'm gonna don't do that shit. And especially don't do something against the federal government. That's dumb. That's retarded. Whether they deserve it or not, just don't do it. How you get back is to be better. Be better than the average American. Now outsmart the average American. Outsmart the white man. And quite frankly, there are minorities who are already doing that. And guess what? You have white institutions and white neighborhoods knocking down the doors to have these people work for their companies, live in their neighborhoods, shop at their stores. Or them shopping at their stores, quite frankly. I mean, it's simple. Get something that is marketable anywhere across the world, then leave. And leave in masses, whether it's going back to Africa or going to a country that is more amicable towards black men, which, quite frankly, I'd say it's 80% of the rest of the world, if you really want to think about it. Get up in the ranks of their country. Teach your offspring, which chances are they'll be mixed. Teach your offspring how the Jews teach their offspring about the Holocaust. Teach your offspring about slavery, Jim Crow, and the welfare state. The 3 strikes that the United States has against black men. Teach them that. Have your kids teach them that. And while teaching them to be the elite of their country. To the point in which now you all hold the power. Whether it's in the government, the private sector, corporations of whatever country you end up settling in or whatever. And then you go back to the United States and you remind them of the shit they pulled towards you or towards your parents, grandparents, whoever. And you make them pay with green. You make them pay with green blood. Like how the Jews are doing to Germany right now. Hell, the United States, which hasn't done the prejudice that the U.S. has done to Jews has been no different than what they did to Italians and Irish and Catholics or whatever. But the United States pays reparations for some reason to Jews. I don't get it. But if you really want your revenge, make the United States want you. Make yourself marketable to the world. Only then will the United States see its ways as wrong. Only then will the United States try to atone for its ways and beg you back and plead on their knees to have black men come back to their countries. Hell, they may even start giving up their women as sacrifice. But by then, I mean, let's be honest, the average American woman of any race buys into their white feminist bullshit to the point in which they're fucking over their own men. Look at all these white guys who are dying and killing themselves or just being financially fucked over by what white women are doing. Do you want that? Do you want the average American woman of any race? Now, granted, the average Hispanic or Asian, they're worshiping white men anyway, but guess what? A good amount of them are pulling the same shit as well. They don't want them because they're white. They want them because of the money. And it's like, I'd actually would somewhat, no, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I actually would give a bit more respect to the women who want white men because, quite simply, they're white. At least then they'll do anything and everything to hold on to their man and please their man and respect their man. I mean, I'll give them just a bit more respect. But overall, a black man, instead of pleading with America, first of all, don't plead. Don't be like these Black Lives Matter people and say, oh, don't shoot us, don't plead, don't. Oh. What 2017? We have a lot more to do, and we can't believe. No, fuck that. Also, to you pro-blacks out there, stop with this. White supremacy. Watch out, man. You gotta watch out for the white devil. Even though you're living off the white devil, 90% of you living off the white devil, whether it's through his job or his handouts, and a good amount of you are living with a white deviltress. I mean, let's just keep it honest. Make yourself in demand to the world. Only then will the black male hatred stop. But to be honest, if it does stop, as George Carlin would say, the industry, or the collapse of the industry of bullshit, will bring a collapse to America. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.